All right, it is Sunday, 10 December 2023. We are going to get set up here real soon for, that's right, the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Sunday night edition. Look out, cats, dogs, and kids, because who knows what Willie will have in store for us tonight. Just sit back, relax. The crew should be here pretty soon.
That would not be available. You'd have to pay
Hello,
for
hello,
it,
hello.
and you would have to, hey, what's up, man?
Mm-hmm.
So
Hey, Mark.
in a way, it's kind of nice having that
Yeah.
free tutorial there. You know what I mean? Because who knows if it'll be there in 20, 30 years. If they'll want to charge you, you'll have to be licensed to give tips and stuff like that.
Yeah, to watch archives of YouTube just because there's so much information on there.
I mean, yeah, think about it. And I guess they would have AI regulate that.
How's everybody doing
I've
tonight?
been I've been using AI on eBay. They've got an AI function now.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, you go into your description and you just hit AI and it'll spit out a description for you. And it's been pretty good overall, but the one it put out today, I was like, oh, that's terrible. I definitely will not be using that. And I mean, I still have to put in my own information. So really all it's adding is like a selling point. You know, it's sort of a sales pitch. And I've never done that in my eBay auctions. I don't really try to sell it that much. I just offer it, give a good description, have great photos. But, you know, I figure if AI is going to do it for me and it's honest and it's, you know, but I always wondered, man, what if they get it wrong? And then I'm giving wrong information to my seller. I'm not sure I fully trust the AI, but I've been using it a little bit. Like the one it put out, the one it spit out today, it was like way over the top trying to sell. And I was like, nobody wants that heavy of a sales pitch. You know, you'll love your electro load belt. It's rugged. It will last forever and make your you know, dryer perform at levels it's never performed before. You know, so I was like, okay, that's too much.
Well, we need to take and do an update on our show descriptions too here pretty soon, because you do more than just that 1 or 2 sentences that you gave me, CS.
My show description? Oh, like the written one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We can do better than that, you know.
Okay. I'll write new ones.
By the way, I did talk with... go ahead. Finish yours.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say I talked with Aragmar. I guess that's how you say his name.
Oh, yeah.
He told me he didn't know if he could make the 20th show because he's with family and his internet is not working or something. And he was like, I want to be on the show, and he said he wouldn't be able to let me know anything until probably like Monday, which would be like right before the show, which would be like the 18th or something. But I said, well, just let me know. And then he said, does it have to be, you know, for the 20th? And I didn't want to speak for you, but I said, I'm guessing that, you know, we could, you know, put you in. I don't do the bookings for the guests, but I said, but I'm sure that we could fit you in January or some other time that's more convenient for you. And he was like, okay. So he'll let us know. But it looks like, I would say, if you were to ask my opinion, it's not, I would say it's, you know, a little bit less likely that he's going to be there, but he could. So it's like 40-60 kind of thing. But he's going to keep me posted. I'll check back again after the end of this week. He said he won't know anything till the end of this week. So,
okay.
But he wants to be on the show, and he's super excited, and yeah, he's stoked.
Cool. Yeah, he's been on here probably 3 times now.
Yeah, I don't think he knew I was a co-host. You know what I mean? And I was like, I didn't know you wanted me on the show. And I was like, oh, yeah. I said, both CS and me, you know, are in agreement with that.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you know, that I told you that I knew you pretty well. And he just had me contact you. And he's like, oh, cool. And of course, he's got his new book or revamping of his one of his books or something with a new cover, and it's, I don't know, maybe edited or something differently. So that's kind of coming out.
Yeah, I see he's been working on some pretty cool looking projects. So we'll have to get up to speed on all that before he comes on.
Ice House in the house over in Kick. Look out, cats, dogs, and kids. Yeah.
What up?
Ice Hole. Not Ice House. Ice Hole.
I'm going to open some mail here, so bear with me.
Hey, man, we've had some really great beachhead moments, man. Alex Jones interviewing live today with Elon Musk, Ramaswamy, Benny Johnson, trying to think of who all, Mark Dice. I can't even think of all the names, but millions of people are going to see that. He's reinstated. I listened to about 10 or 15 minutes of it. I want to listen to all of it. I just haven't had time. And Elon said some really interesting thing about the WEF and the globalists, which is interesting. Alex was, asking him some pretty good questions. According to what Alex was saying today, was he interviewed him for 2 hours. When I was listening, it was just kind of a free for all. Everybody was just kind of, in fact, most everybody was just like talking over each other. And General Michael Flynn was there, and he suggested, which I think is great. Of course, Alex was going, it'll never happen, but Elon was on board for it. He was on board about having an interview with these globalist slime bags like Klaus Schwab, and he said he would definitely host it, and he said that they're getting ready to have a feature on Twitter where you'll be able to go, just like what we did with Scott. Pretty much. He said that's coming. So
Klaus Schwab, if people really saw him and heard the words coming out of his mouth, I think it'd freak them out big time.
Oh, people would change their mind about Alex, about everything. I mean, I agree with Alex. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But General Michael Flynn was saying, we got to push for this. We got to make this thing happen, man. And we got to do it on
Twitter.
Twitter.
Him, and they would think to themselves, okay, fine. So this lunatic is saying this stuff, but who cares, right? And then you realize, no, this guy's like leading the world. Like everybody who matters listens to him and does what he says for some stupid reason. For what reason, I don't know. But anybody wants to buy into this crap is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever even considered in life.
So, we're having beachhead moment after beachhead moment, which of course means it's going to get crazier as well. I mean, I heard somebody say something that I repeat a lot, and sometimes things resonate more when you hear somebody else say it. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm confident in what I'm saying and everything, but then when you hear it out of somebody else's mouth with conviction, it just resonates at a whole other level. And I've said many times, these people that have had this empire for so long. I mean, some people would say it goes back thousands of years, right? But definitely, decades, if not hundreds or a few thousand. I mean, who knows exactly, where it began and where it all ends. But they're not going to relinquish their power without a fight to the bitter end. In other words, they're going to have to be utterly defeated. They're not going to just, because they'll all go to jail, and they know that, for the things that they've done. So people are not playing. They're not going to relinquish their power. And plus, add in addition to that, the fact of how they controlled the masses worldwide through the shamdemic, and now they're pushing for climate change lockdowns and climate change nonsense to go along with that. They go, oh man, this is great. This is better than I imagined. We can have more power than we dreamed of. And we can have it now. We don't have to wait till 2050. So, the more we fight, the more we win, the more crazy it gets. But that's just kind of how it's going to probably happen. And they're evil, as evil is hell itself. So they will, who knows what they'll try, man. And Joe Biden, I don't know if you've been watching lately, but saying, he goes, 100 million, gazillion, trillion, billion, million, $6 billion, $1 million. I'm like,
yeah, I saw that. It's like, what, dude?
And then he was talking about Jesus and a revolution, and so, that made no sense, dude. I mean, I was like, what are you talking about? Total insanity. And he tied Jesus into airports. There were no planes or airports during Jesus' time.
Yeah, there were.
So, well, maybe the UFO kind. I don't know. But, wow.
It's a history they don't want you to know, man.
He's losing his mind completely. There's no possible. I mean, honestly, I think, and I'm saying this for the first time now, I think he might die before and I mean by natural causes, while he's in the White House, before this term is over. He's that bad, dude.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who could be offed before the next election comes around. You know?
Well, Henry Kissinger died at 100.
Yeah, well.
But Biden is like 110 with his dementia.
Hey, yo.
Hey, fellas.
What's going on?
How you doing tonight?
I am fantastic. I'm just sending out the message to let everyone know we're on the air. I am going to tag you fellas. Hello to all the listeners out there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Biden is crashing and burning.
Oh, big time, man. He's not gonna make it, I don't think. He can't debate. I mean, oh my goodness, he's just Imagine how many drugs are having to give him to get in front of a camera and speak to people, or in front of a stage, in front of an audience. I mean, how many drugs? You know, Alex Jones was saying that CIA and FBI have told him, and he's been accurate about some of this kind of stuff. You know, that they told him stuff about Hillary that turned out to be true, about her passing out and stuff, and they followed her around. Sure enough, we got the video of her fall. Remember, she fell as she stumbled as she went into the car.
Yeah, that was 9/11.
And yeah, 9/11 of all things. And Alex was saying that they've got him so drugged up, you know, uppers and downers and stuff, that sometimes he can't sleep, and he's walking around naked in the White House, you know, pooping in places and acting crazy. And I don't know if that's true or half true or not true at all, but it would not surprise me that he's, you know, completely out of his mind.
He could just move to San Francisco. I mean, San Fran feces. And you fit right in. He can poop anywhere he wants to.
My butt's been wiped.
It's been cleaned through.
Oh, but just the only thing I'm hoping for is let's get some more Biden confessions, man. Also known as gaffes. I am really ready for him to confess to some more stuff, you know, like voter fraud. And I mean, he said, I'm good for nothing one day, he said. I mean, he just tells it like it is sometimes. He just spits it out. It's like, uh-oh, you know, and you know that all of his handlers are like going, uh-oh, there he did it again, you know. Hopefully no one will notice that. Nobody picked up on that.
Looking in the camera and saying, you know, Hunter's given me a lot of money through the years. A lot.
China.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I would love to hear that.
Just like, what?
So they don't call me the big guy for nothing. How awesome would that be? So I think we're going to get a few more good ones, man, before you know, Trump comes back.
Well, I mean, he paid $50,000 a month in rent for that his parents' house. You know, Hunter did.
Mm-hmm.
Come on,
yeah,
50.
Come on,
who pays their parents $50,000 a month to live in their house? You know,
I don't know. It's insane.
You know, if your kid wanted to stay in there while you were off in you know, your other home and wherever, you'd be like, yeah, stay there, whatever, I don't care.
It'd be
you used to live there. Yeah, don't worry about it. Just stay there.
Sounds
you don't
like
have to
a
pay
laundering operation. 50,000, you can stay at my house. I mean, that's not even reasonable, right? There's no rent like that. Maybe in New York City at some, you know, penthouse.
Yeah, it's it's shocking what people pay on rent.
Here in Oklahoma, that's half a house, or at least it used to be until Biden came in. Now that's about a quarter of a house, but
yeah.
Ooh, it's amazing what you could, when Trump was president, what you could get, the house you could get in Oklahoma for, I mean, such little money. A decent house, man, and in a nice neighborhood in a low crime area. You know, like the house I'm in right now, it's almost doubled in its value since Biden became the president. And that's way more than normal doubling.
Mm-hmm.
And as a homeowner, that's better, I guess, but you know, not if you're wanting to buy. And then a lot of people were coming over to Oklahoma to buy a house because it was too expensive to live in Portland, too expensive to live in California. And they were paying for a while, like during the shamdemic when everything was locking down, they were paying. And I know people like in my neighborhood that were selling homes, whatever they were asking, they were paying $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 more for it. And my friend, well, I just neighbor, I wouldn't call him my friend, but I knew him. He was like, yeah, I'm putting it up for sale. I said, dude, don't take the first offer. I said, because people are moving from other places where they're locked down, and they'll pay more because they're, they pay $500,000 for it, or $1 million for a home that you're selling here for, $150,000.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works from state to state.
Yeah, right. Some markets are hot, others are not, I remember my dad trying to sell a house in Michigan for like 2 years. And then I was trying to sell my condo, and he's like, yeah, get ready, it's going to suck. And like 2 weeks later, I've got a pretty much full price bid. He's like, what? How?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We sold our place before we ever even put it on the market.
Wow.
Yeah, which was great because we just wanted to get rid of it. I did not want to have to keep going back over there and dealing with stuff. And I was tired of it. So I was just like, yes, just get rid of it.
Well, that's why you're selling it in the first place, right?
Yeah. I was ready to be done with that chapter. Start a new one.
Well, needless to say, I'm still stoked, though. I mean, I know it's going to get rough and everything, and the rough waters are coming, but I think everybody is literally prepared for it. After all that we've been through, man, we have got so much stronger. We've been strengthened. We have a deeper resolve than ever before. We have more faith, more confidence. So bring it, Deep State. Bring it, because we're ready for you this time, man. We're not being taken off guard like we were with the Shamdemic.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, by the way, my heaters come on a couple times. Have you been hearing that? Is that
no, I haven't.
Does it stand out? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't heard it either myself.
Yeah, I got a fan one.
Because it's a little bit loud on my end, but not that bad. You know what I mean? It's like...
It's not like your air conditioner or that big fan that you had before.
The ceiling fan?
Yeah.
It's on par with the ceiling fan, yeah. As far as noise.
I don't
hear I finally got that thing going, guys.
Good.
Like, I didn't care about too much last year, but now it's like my second year without a winter, and like now I'm like 40s, like really cold all of a sudden, where last year it was like not a big deal. Yeah, it's like... I don't know. I was talking to some other people that were like, yeah, after 2 years, everything changes.
Well, you want to be comfortable, man.
Yeah. Out here in the summer, man, it's like apparently like 80's cold out here in the summer. Like if it gets to 80, they're like, whoa, dude, it's freezing. I don't know how people live in Phoenix. I just don't understand it. Like, well, dude, if the power goes out, you all die. Everyone dies if the power goes out.
Well, have you seen the video coming out of Arizona of all the migrants just walking down the highway? I mean, the highway, the interstate, dude.
Wow.
And cars are having to go around and slow down. I'm like, it's like they don't even care that they're on the highway, and it's crazy, dude. We're talking, hundreds of people just walking. Not on the shoulder, but on the highway. I was like that. I mean, imagine how shocking that if you live there.
And I mean, they've been doing it like through all of Central America in a lot of these cases, you name it. Like they've been walking like that for months. So like finally they're here. What's another, 50 miles or whatever? Boy, you're like there,
And not all of them are getting checks or Visa cards, the $5,000. So they're going to go rob. They're going to go rob some house to get whatever they need. I mean, if you're hungry and you have no money, you're going to rob, man. I mean, that's just, I don't know, man. It just is not good, man. I mean, oh man, we got to secure that border. And I would never be for this, but now I am, because it's become so bad that there has to be deportations when he comes back. There has to be. Because we don't know who these people are, man. And he did say we're going to do mass deportations. He said that. Trump.
Yeah. Well, it's already like there's like half of Europe is on that stage. You know what I mean? When Sweden's doing it, Norway's doing it, it's like, hey guys, we're not the first or the last, right? This needs to happen. You know?
Yep.
All right, everything's looking good. Getting that raccoon ready to do its little sprint. And
Excellent.
we will be good to go. I can't wait.
Oh, so now I've got this. Okay, I don't think I told you, yo. I fixed once and for all my heater the other day in the van. So now I don't have to rely on like a gas buddy or whatever. I just set the thermostat and turn it on, and off I go.
Excellent.
You know, which is beautiful. But now I've got this battle going on between my heater and my refrigerator. And it's like one will kick on, then it'll kick off, and then the other one will kick on, and then it'll kick off. We're both happy for a little bit, and then the heater will kick on, and the AC's got, then the fridge has got to come on. It's just this constant battle.
More solar panels.
Yeah, right? Honestly.
All right.
We're in the shortest part of the year.
We are good to go for launch. So everything's running smoothly over on my end.
I can pick up a 240 watt solar panel for about $50, and I'm really tempted to do that and just parallel it into my system, and off we go. It is, yeah, it is.
Especially when you know how to install it and save yourself the labor.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be like the cost on that would be almost nothing. I would just need a Y connector and about maybe 3 feet of cable, 4 feet of cable.
Too bad there's no Radio Shacks left.
Well, I can get the cable easy. But yeah, I'm tempted to do it just so that it's another like $70 out the door.
But
right? And then I'm overpowered forever.
Better to have more and not need it than not enough and
yeah. My only problem is like a week ago, I was like, I'm really fine. Like I keep having this temptation to upgrade my solar, and I'm fine though. Like I've gone through a year now with it, and I've not had any issues. Right? So why do I need to suddenly upgrade it? Like I don't know. I guess I'm just. It's one of those itches, right? You're like, but every week or so I find myself thinking about it again, and then I'm like, no, I'm fine. It works. Like I don't need to. But it's so cheap, and you can get so much more power.
Power.
I mean, if you guys were tent camping out here, I could run an extension cord out to you.
Do it.
Yeah. And you could plug in like 5 things into that and be like, good to go. I don't know.
You wait. I'm a consumer. I draw some energy.
I bet.
Especially if I was going to be where it was hot. I need air conditioning.
Yeah, well, air conditioning in RVs off-grid is pretty tough. It just is. Like, we tell everybody, look, you're not going to get there. Don't even try. Unless you're going to plug it. You got to be plugged in to do that. You just do.
Yeah. We have never camped and not been plugged in.
Oh, God, I can't imagine that. That is doing the worst possible side of RV life. Just
that's
the worst
why
possible.
We haven't gone anywhere, because where we are now is heaven, and when we do go camping, it's always like, I hope and I pray there's going to be trees, and there's usually like a concrete pad and neighbors like right next to you.
Yeah, like 5 feet away, literally like 7 feet away.
Yeah, it's not very relaxing.
If they get in a fight, you're going to know about it.
When we go to the racetrack, it's okay, because everybody's just kind of like there to have fun and be rowdy and loud and, enjoy the weekend. But when you go to a campground and you're looking to get away and to relax, and then you have neighbor, that's not relaxing to me.
You gotta go out west where you can just go up on National Forest land or, BLM or whatever.
I would love that.
You're good to go. You got
I
2
love
weeks.
nature. Nature and no neighbors. That would be awesome.
Dude, I just drive off into the desert out here. I swear to God, it's really trippy. You can just drive off. You're in. There's no roads or anything. You're just driving around cactuses and through washes and shit, and you just find it. Oh yeah, definitely. But it's super flat and everything. It's all hard, and you have to have good off-road tires, which I do. But yeah, it's kind of trippy. I'm really tempted to just take some videos of me driving to where I camp at times because it's pretty trippy.
Have the copy bars come be your
8 o'clock, y'all.
Here we go.
We should be going live soon.
Mark, what time you got?
I got the right time, but I'm having problems with the broadcaster.
Oh, okay. Mark
for
was
the
off
radio
on
side.
Wednesday by 2 minutes.
We're gonna get on. Don't worry. It's just. Oh boy! Here we go.
Oh, it's so toasty warm in here. Honestly, I'm going to take off my sweater.
And get my dollars out.
Oh, I'm taking off the sweater.
Okay, you have 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. I have to pee. Is there time to pee?
You'd lie.
Do I have
We
time
don't
to
buy
pee?
that. We don't buy that one twice, man. Come on.
Here's the countdown.
One car gets stolen in
5,
America every 30
4,
seconds.
3, 2, 1, and you're live and on the radio side right now.
Hello and welcome to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show Sunday night edition. Oh man, I always look forward to Sunday night. It is so much fun. We hang out, have a good time, cover the news, check in with Willie, check in with Yotivation. How you doing, yo?
Wonderful. How you guys doing? I'm so excited. I love Sunday nights.
And Bullhorn Bear.
Oh, what's up, man? Things are looking good. Beachhead moments, they're coming.
I need to hear a good ho 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 through that microphone. It's almost Christmas time. Let's get some ho ho ho.
Ho! Merry Christmas, everybody.
Awesome stuff. So let's see. Talk about what's going on in the world here. I had an interesting article about this baseball player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ohtani moving to the Dodgers. 10-year, $700 million deal.
Wow.
I've never heard of this guy. Apparently he's Japanese. He came out of the Japanese leagues. He's a really good hitter and was named MVP or whatever a couple years. $700 million to play for the Dodgers over 10 years.
No, that's a record, right? Certainly sounds.
Oh,
like
yeah. Yeah. That's got to be a record for pretty much any athlete.
I mean, most people make more. I mean, the big players make more off of their sponsorships than they do the actual sport. Like Nike.
Well,
or
and
Adidas
or even like a boxer, you're going to have a bunch of deals that might add up to $700 million over 10 years.
Yeah.
But you're not going to get one contract with a $700 million bottom line pretty much that I've ever heard of. That's $750 million.
They better hope he doesn't get injured.
Right. And it seems like baseball must be doing pretty good. It seemed like there for a while, a lot of people weren't going to games, but they must be if they can afford $750 million.
Yeah.
And salary caps, right? How do is Obamanomics kicking into baseball salary caps where suddenly, because that seems like, you know, you're gonna have this guy and then a bunch of like nobodies who get paid like 10 grand a year running around playing some, you know. I don't know, but
we'll see if it pays off. I can't imagine that it would.
Well,
he
probably
would
will.
have to bring in a lot of people.
Yeah, and if you think about it, that's what half of what he's going to make, maybe, with when you consider endorsements. You know, just that's where all the money is, like you were saying, Barry. It's staggering amounts of money that this guy's going to make over the next decade. And I've never even heard of him, but I've never been a baseball fan, so
too slow.
I mean,
too slow of a sport for me.
Yeah, I was a fan in like, you know, elementary school, I think, but that was about it. You know, sit up and listen to the game on the radio.
Yeah,
I love baseball, but I haven't listened or watched a game in years and years and years. I checked out.
Yeah, I didn't mind going to games, especially in Chicago when the Cubs were playing. You know, that's such a beautiful stadium and a great part of town. And, you know, there's a subway right there. You just hop on the L and off you go. It was pretty cool. You know, you go to this game, then get on the L, go 5 stops, and suddenly you're just back home. You know, it's like, like that used to be such a big deal, you know, when you had to drive all the way across town to some stadium. But yeah, it was very different in a big city. And very, very cool, very fun time, overpaying for beers and all that stuff. But hey, you're at the game, you know. But
yeah, I checked out as well.
Ago.
I'm not watching any of that stuff. I'm Team America. I can't get too excited about a team right now when America's under attack as we are. That's just me. You know, I'm not against people being into sports, but I've totally checked out. I like to play sports, as I've said before. But as far as like sitting down and watching it, it just does not interest me at all.
So he won't be getting any money from you?
No, absolutely not.
I thought it was an interesting, maybe, you know, bring up, but let's get into the real news. Let's get into something major.
Let's get into some meat.
Some meat that I know my friend Bullhorn Barry is all over.
All about.
Alex Jones is back on X. He's back.
Yes, sir.
And this is one of those sea change moments. I think you were calling it earlier, right? The times are changing.
Watershed
folks.
moment, beachhead moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into that a little bit. Elon Musk put up a poll, and it was like 70-30. Yeah, let him back. And everyone agrees. I mean, the CIA, the government. You can't convince me that they didn't coordinate his removal from every piece of social media 7 years ago, 6 years ago, all coordinated within a week, gone. Facebook, all of it. I mean, I want to say TikTok and Instagram, but I don't even think they existed in that form that long ago. Yeah. But now he's back on Twitter. And, gosh, he was on with Tucker Carlson the other night and accused Biden of what? Kicking his dog or beating his dog? Do you see that?
Yeah, I watched the whole interview. It was great.
Okay, yeah, delve into it then.
Well, I mean, Tucker was basically saying the reason that the deep state hates him is because he's been so accurate about so many different things. He predicted 9/11, not just 2 months before it happened, but now they pulled out video that 6 months before 9/11 happened, he predicted it. So he predicted it before whatever that other guy's name is that they think that predicted it before Alex. I can't, William something or another.
Bin Laden.
What's that?
It was his name Bin Laden.
Well,
Osama?
Mr. CIA asset. Yeah, anyway. But he predicted it 6 months. And Tucker was like, how did you do that? How could you possibly know that? And none of the mainstream media see that. And he explains how he figured it out and blah, blah, blah. And they went over a whole bunch of different things that he predicted the war in Ukraine and Russia a couple of months before it happened. And he's just dialed in. And he reads the globalist papers. He reads the newspapers. They tell you what they're going to do before they do it. That's basically what he's saying.
Which is to our success as well. Because when the WEF says, hey, we're going to do this, we say, hey, guess what, guys? They're going to do this. Ta-da! It's magic, right?
Right.
That's pretty much the same thing Alex Jones does. He listens to what they say, and then he tells you what they're saying.
Yeah, and
Ta-da!
Lockdown was a perfect example of that. And they talked about that in the interview as well. You know, the Rockefeller document that came out, I believe it was in 2010, called Lockstep. And he said, you know, you're not going to be able to go to the baseball game anymore. You know, you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. It's going to be total tyranny. You're going to have to wear masks. You're going to have to do this. He's telling you exactly. It's going to be top-down global government, and they're going to control everything. And he's literally laying it out exactly. And I mean exactly as out. But that was in 2010 when he said that. And he said other things similar to that before that. So this guy's got his finger on the pulse. And back then, I mean, everybody thought he was completely insane and nuts. Even I, who was a listener, was like, I doubt that's going to happen.
Yeah. Exactly. I enjoyed listening to him, but every now and then I go, come on now. Come on, Alex. Don't reel it in. Reel it in,
baby. Yeah.
Which I try not to do so much, but I'm sure some of you out there have thought the same thing about some of the stuff we've said. Looking at
Yep, yeah. I know. I felt the fingers pointing.
Hashtag Space Wars.
Well, you know, just like Alex, sometimes you've got to wait for it to happen, but they do tell you what's going to happen, and you just have to be paying attention and realize pretty much whatever they, and air, you know, quotes, whatever they tell you is the opposite of what they mean. They say a lie to you, like Joe Biden. How many lies do we have to listen to? This guy has a history. It didn't just start happening. And, you know, if you look into the past, you'll learn more about the future. You'll know what to anticipate, what to look for, and you won't be taken for a fool again. We just lived through all that COVID crap, and we see that about 75% of the American people succumb to getting, you know, that unnecessary experimental vaccine. So I have hope that people lived through it. They believe it now and they've learned from it, and I hope that it won't happen again, but there are no guarantees. I'm a little concerned. So just because somebody says something that you don't agree with or you don't understand, just give it a minute. Sometimes, you know, they say the difference in a conspiracy theory and the truth is 6 months. So, you know, I was adamant that Russia was a hoax, even when I was, you know, one of very few people saying it. And so I'm used to being pointed out in a crowd. You know, the leading edge is very lonely, but facts are facts, and we all will converge there through the truth. We get there on different paths at different times, but we'll all converge at the truth eventually.
Amen. And we will. And again, you know, you talk about the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is 6 months. And I believe that with my whole heart. And folks, 6 months from now, the world is not going to look like it does today. There's going to be big problems next year. The World Economic Forum themselves said sometime before 2025, we're going to have massive cyber attacks.
Yes, they did.
That will make COVID look like a walk in the park. Okay. So that means in 2024, in the next year, in 2024, massive cyber attacks. When do we expect them to come? Before or after the elections? I'd
Probably
say before. Before, for sure. Mail-in ballots, all that stuff. Disrupt this next election in every possible way they can. Look, Trump is the nominee. There's no way anybody's going to overcome this 45-point deficit that they are looking at.
Well, I mean, haven't you ever thought that why are they having these debates like they are and keep having them and more and more and more?
Yeah,
because
they just scheduled two more.
Yeah, because they believe, the corrupt establishment believes that Trump is not going to be able to run for whatever reason. Sort of like Matt Gaetz said, maybe somebody, which would be horrible, would assassinate him. I mean, Matt Gaetz accused, I believe it was the Washington Post, of basically green lighting an assassination attempt on Donald Trump by saying, he's going to end democracy and all this nonsense, that basically Biden is actually doing. And so, I mean, crazy world.
And it doesn't seem that far out of the picture that Trump could be got to like that. The Secret Service would have something to do with it. Of course, they would have to. All the letter agencies would have to be involved. But, if I were him, I wouldn't get in the back seat of a convertible anytime soon. Let's just put it that way.
Well, there's no doubt the establishment likes Nikki Haley. I mean, she's basically a leftist. She's a leftist globalist who's posing as a Republican.
I was in the Army.
And by the way, Ramaswamy just exposed her like you would not believe in the last debate. I would imagine they're going to try to give him less time. Vivek Ramaswamy. I mean, they're going to give him less time because he just goes after these people because they're all stooges for the establishment.
And did you see how Van Jones said he was like almost in tears when he heard Vivek talk about
he was shaking. He was just, terrified.
The Great Replacement. And, they always call it the Great Replacement theory, but I won't call it a theory because it's fact. It's true. It's the Great Replacement plan that we see every single day on the southern border. Come on up. Let's get rid of Whitey. We don't want Whitey to be a majority in the United States anymore. We want Whitey to be a minority. And Van Jones came out in 2001 and said as much. He said it's going to be hard for white people to get their head around not being a majority in this country anymore, but that's the plan. That's what we're going to do. And they're going to have to get used to it. They're going to have to live with it. And they may not like it, but it's what's going to happen. Well, what has happened to change the demographics so dramatically in the United States? Open borders, wide open immigration.
Yeah. Well, there is an anti-white racist agenda going about. I mean, there was just a Netflix film. What's his name? Ibram Kendi. He said basically white people are not connected to humanity. I mean, just outright brazen, overt racism to the likes we've never heard before.
Corporations pay him $30,000 to come by and talk to their people for half an hour. You know what I mean? He's making fat money telling corporate America how all of this garbage.
Yeah. Well, imagine the legacy that he's leaving. He's leaving a legacy of division, of dividing Americans. When Republicans, by and large, want to bring everybody together. We want unity, man. We want every race, color, and creed coming together under the banner of freedom and Americanism and national sovereignty. That's why they keep tossing around these words like white nationalism and Christian nationalism. Those are all just ploys to distract people from what I call satanic globalism, because that's their leftist agenda is, this satanic globalist one world government dystopia, which they call the liberal world order, by the way.
Yeah, it's a scary world we're walking into. It really is. And I think it was, what is it, Patrick David Hansen? I'm probably getting his name wrong. I'm stepping on it for sure. But I watched him do a PragerU video about how Barack Obama so quickly flipped everything. America was coming together. We were coming together, and he divided everyone by race, by color, by creed, by religion, by everything. He just jammed those wedges. And it's easy to set everyone against each other. That only takes a few years. It's hard to get everybody together, to work, to start seeing everyone as equals. And it's very, very hard to get everyone to the peaceful part. It's easy to get them into the angry, fighting, division part. So they went for the easy route, the division, the hatred. And lo and behold, look at where we are now. We've got so much hatred in this country. And back in the day, it was white power, and in the 60s and 50s, it was all about white people segregating from black people, separate dorms, separate colleges, separate universities. Now, They want separate dorms, separate graduations, separate universities for the exact opposite reason, to keep whitey out, to keep the people of color away from the oppressive white factions that are out there to get them, so to speak, that have discriminated against, created a society where it's all systematically racist in their view. Critical theory. We've talked about it.
Well, I think they're becoming more and more brazen and blatant about their racism, and people are figuring it out. And that's kind of why, black voters are overwhelmingly moving over to, vote for Trump now. And Latinos are voting for Trump, it looks like, based on the polls. So in a way, I mean, it almost has to be this way where they show just how ugly they really are. I mean, these are ugly people inwardly. They hate humanity. They hate freedom. They hate national sovereignty, which is what in our nation gives us our individual sovereignty as well. And they're pumping and pushing this, world governance where you'll basically have no freedom whatsoever. It's a dystopia. And just who would want that, man? So when they say white nationalism and Christian nationalism, all that, they're basically trying to make nationalism look bad. No, I'm proud to be a nationalist. I'm proud to love America. I'm proud for what America stands for freedom and justice and equality and liberty for all. Man, I am behind America 110%. I don't want world government. I don't want a liberal world order. I don't want a conservative world order either. I want to remain a sovereign nation.
Absolutely. And that is not what they're doing at this COP28 Green Agenda meeting over in Dubai. Again, a bunch of billionaires that nobody elected are going over there to plan out the future of the world. And, folks, again, it sounds like conspiracy sometimes, what we say. But then here's Al Gore actually saying it. This is sourced from Zero with Ashkat, something or another. Sorry, Bloomberg. Oh, sorry about that. I'm sorry, I just totally grabbed the wrong clip. Here it is.
To one based on broad and then moving on to the internet and to social media has did the balances that used to exist that made representative democracy work much better.
So he's talking about how media back in, say, I don't know, the 80s used to be broadcast television. You had the three major channels, and then CNN came along, but everybody got the same sort of news.
Yeah.
Okay. And now we move to the internet, and it is algorithms and whatnot that sort of feed you what you're interested in. So listen to what he says about that. Again, Dubai, talking to billionaires, and he flew a private jet there, I guarantee it.
And which, by the way, before you
governing people rely on a shared base of knowledge that serves as the basis for reasoning together collectively. But if you have social media that is dominated by algorithms that pull people down these rabbit holes that are a bit like pitcher plants, these algorithms, they are the digital equivalent of AR-15s. They ought to be banned. They really ought to be banned. It's an abuse of the public forum. But when people are pulled down these rabbit holes, you know what's at the bottom of the rabbit hole? Where the echo chamber is.
I can interpret that for you, though. I can interpret that for you quite easily. We don't want anybody challenging our official narrative because we like controlling things because we are control freaks.
This is the guy who made an inconvenient truth, 25, 30 years ago? Yotivation? That movie was wrong about everything, and it had a number of lies.
Well, that's the MO. They're always wrong about everything, and they expect us to trust them to be the arbiter of truth. Yeah, all through COVID, we were the ones telling people about ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, Dr. Fauci, all of the things that the television would never tell us. And that's the problem. They can't stand that people aren't just blindly trusting what the television, tell lies to your vision, is saying. And
Mhm.
can't have that because we just went through COVID and they didn't get the result hoping for. There were so many of us that did not comply, and then we became the control group. So now there is a way to tell the difference between those who took a air quote vaccine and those who didn't. And so we're the thorn in their side that they need to get rid of. And that's why they're trying to silence and cancel and arrest.
Oh yeah,
I would say not
intimidation.
just conservative, but common sense voices.
Oh yeah, and he said that the top 28 president, because he said basically if we got rid of fossil fuels, it'd take us back to the cave ages. So, and he's right.
Yeah.
If that
The
happened,
Stone Ages, exactly.
Stone Ages, yeah. And he said, well, the president has a direct conflict of interest. I believe he's a Saudi, so maybe he's referencing oil or what have you. But you know what? I thought to myself, I have a direct conflict of interest with everything you guys are doing. I didn't give you approval to run my life.
Yeah. So again, but this is a perfect example of, hey, you guys sound like conspiracy theorists. Well, no. Here's him saying it right out of his mouth. That's just from yesterday, It's Al Gore of all people, Mr. Man-Bear Pig, the guy who said the ice caps would melt and polar bears would all die and all this stuff. And we're talking about in the 90s, he predicted all that stuff. We had 7 years. Countdown on his show, and he lived another 10 years after that countdown expired.
Well, we only had
rest
10
his
years,
soul.
10 years
Little
left,
rush.
and that was like 4 or 5 years ago, man. We're down to like, there's,
Yeah.
I mean, if what they're saying is true, if we only have 6 more years to get it right, that would take longer than 6 years to transition to what they're trying to do. So they might as well quit if that's true, because it can't happen in 6 years and we're all just going to die. We all just might as well admit we're all going to die. But we all know it's a hoax, man. It is a total hoax.
Yeah. And if it was that dire of a risk, we would be bombing every coal. You know how long it would take us to bomb every coal plant in China, every coal plant in India, every coal plant in the third world? Just get rid of them all, blow them all up tomorrow. They wouldn't be able to rebuild them. They'd be done. It would be, it'd be the Stone Ages there, right? They would revert back to it. But if it was that much of an emergency, we would insist. We'd go in there with the military force and say, you have to shut these down. You're killing the planet. But they don't. They're building them left and right. We only shut them down.
Let's be honest. These people, these globalists who are controlling everything, they have to have a major crisis, and they're going to use climate change. They're going to use, another pandemic or a cyber attack. It's always some super duper big, huge crisis that's coming at any moment, so that, we can have to give up our freedoms and give up our lifestyle. And it's all about control. It should just, if you look at it on the surface, you should be able to go, oh yeah, wow, that is just so easy to see what they're doing. I'm shocked that everybody can't figure it out. These people are lying to you to control you, to take all the power for themselves and put us in this panopticon prison planet, which they've talked about openly. Go do your research. You'll see the future they have for us is a dystopic one. That is a fact.
It's right out of 1984. Yotivation. Here's a story out of Massachusetts, where Bonnie Manchester, who is a teacher in the school district in Ludlow, Massachusetts, was fired in 2021 for informing a female student's father that the school was secretly referring to her daughter as a boy.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So they're transitioning this kid secretly behind the parents. The teacher goes to the dad, hey, this is happening. Boom, she's put on leave for a while. They look into it and then they fire her. How can you live in a world where that's even a thing? And by the way, she's suing them for $10 million.
Good. I hope she's successful. Yeah, this is crazy land that we're living in. This is what happens when we let political correctness go too far, when we worry too much about what other people think because our opinion is different than somebody else's. And they've taken over. We've been infiltrated in our school systems. And, unfortunately, now they're getting down to our elementary school, which is very concerning because they like to get them early so that they could train them up the way that they want them for the next generation. So I'm glad this teacher spoke out. I hope that good prevails. And I do think that common sense is returning. We just have to get rid of all of the poison in our corrupted government system. And I wonder when that day is going to come, because the Constitution is there to protect us from a far-reaching, overreaching government, which is what we're living through right now in the state level and the federal level. And we're supposed to be able to, it is supposed to be our duty, our right, our obligation to stand up when there's a tyrannical government like this. And I'm wondering, when is that point ever going to get here? When are we going to say enough is enough, leave our kids alone, and let us live a normal life? But instead, we have booby traps all the time, and we're constantly trying to fight our way through, and our children are now having to do that, and they don't even have the wisdom, to know that they're being manipulated and taken advantage of. So we're definitely screwed unless the parents keep standing up and speaking out like they have been for the last couple of years, which really I do believe is making a difference.
Well said. Well said, exactly. And, the states should have way more power right now. The federal government is bloated. It's too big. It's broken. It's busted. It's bankrupt. And, I mean, financially and morally, it just needs to be cut down to size. And really, the states need to have the power. That's where the Constitution gave the powers. And they have slowly given up those powers, seceded them to the federal government, which has done nothing but trample on Americans' rights. And it needs to end. I don't know. That's my 2 cents. Barry, what say you?
Well, I was just thinking about, state sovereignty has saved America from a lot, because if the federal government could get their way on everything, I mean, we would be fully enslaved right now. And so I'm just wondering, how do they challenge that? Are they going to have some sort of a national emergency that actually includes some sort of national martial law or something to where, state sovereignty? I mean, you can't rule that kind of stuff out because they can't defeat us, because state sovereignty is what's stopping this globalist, horrendous agenda from actually manifesting. It's the very thing that, kept the economy somewhat rolling in America while other nations were completely locked down. Like here in Oklahoma, we were locked down for a few weeks, and then we were completely open, wide open. And we didn't have to wear masks, but if you were a business and they said, put on a mask, and you said, no, I'm not going to, they could ask you to leave. And then they could call the police and have you removed for trespassing. But there was really nothing. And that really never happened. I just told people I had a reason not to wear one, which was true, and would just walk on in. And then if they said, made a big deal about it, I'd just go, okay, I'll just leave. And I said, but I'm not going to give you any business until you correct yourself.
Right. That's exactly what I did too. Exactly what I did. But the government weaponized private businesses to enforce, mandates. They would say that it wasn't the federal government, that it was a state decision, and private business decision. And that's why they could get you for trespassing. But nobody had to comply. Nobody had to. And I didn't. I walked away with several grocery carts overflowing, and I felt exactly the same way. I told them exactly the same thing. I will never give you money if I have to cover my face. And I didn't.
Yeah,
and I swear.
I love that story. You filled up your shopping carts and took it up to the front to get checked out. And they said, put on a mask. And you said, no, thank you. And left the carts right there with $200 worth of groceries. I went unsold that day. And they had to put it all back, by the way.
Yeah, that's called exercising your rights right there. Exercising your free speech. You didn't even say anything, really. Well, but yet what you did,
and they should have said something
words.
up front. You know, they should have said it up front. Hey, you know, like if you're gonna shop, you got to wear the mask. Otherwise, don't even bother.
Well, no, that's what I was told at a thrift store. They said you can shop. I said, but we're not going to check you out. So what did I do? I walked around there for like an hour and just looked at the stuff, but didn't buy anything.
Touch it all. You have to touch everything.
Yeah.
Keep touching your nose and then touching everything on the table. Yeah.
But I actually videotaped my confrontation with the manager there and posted it up on social media. I did take it down after a little bit though, because I wasn't, I don't know. I just felt kind of uncomfortable about it, but I probably should have left it up.
Okay, let's dive into some additional news. Barry, I'm embarrassed because on Wednesday I meant to talk about this story when we did the whole first segment on some of the conflicts going on in the world. Mm-hmm. Venezuela, who Biden just signed a sweetheart deal with to allow them to export oil into the United States because we really need to keep the price of oil down without digging our own oil, right? We don't want our own oil. We want Venezuelan oil because all those dollars go out to other countries. You go to their pockets. Oil, you just pull it out of the ground. Once you put the infrastructure, pull it out of the ground, it's money coming out of the ground every day. Mm-hmm. You know, you talk about creating wealth. That's how you create wealth. Look at Saudi Arabia. Look at all these places that just pull oil out of the ground. Boom, you're rich. Pretty simple process. Well, we can't do that here, but Biden's got no problem with Venezuela doing it as long as they agree to having transparent and free elections using the voting systems that we use here in America.
Yeah.
Right. That's still elections.
Yeah, allegedly. Right. So they, in their wisdom, Maduro down there, decided to annex part of Guyana, their neighbor, right? The oil-rich part of the country, but like a big chunk of it. They want to like take it over, invade it. So we're sending, troops down there now because we're friendly with Guyana more so than Venezuela. On paper, traditionally, at least, right? What would Trump do here? Well, Trump wouldn't have got to this point. They never, ever would have tried this with Trump in the office. But here's another continent that now there's a conflict brewing. Yay.
Yeah.
That makes, North America, we've got it in here, I would say, on the southern border. Central America, check. South America, check. Mm-hmm. Europe, check. Asia, check. Boom. Like, we'll make for World War. Africa? Do we need Africa to get in this somehow?
Well, I mean, we've been talking about it. I posted it on social media almost immediately when Biden became president. I said he would become a war president, that things were going to, because he said the WEF, to the United Nations, to all these globalists, to NATO, to everybody, that he said, America is back. We're back in business. Well, what does that mean? Well, that means we're back to war. We're back to the war machine. We're back to the way it used to be. Trump is gone. We're going to do things the way we've always done it for the last few decades. And that is screw things up. Make things worse. Make more war. Make more money. It's all based around just greed and control and manipulation. I mean, and they don't even care about the lives that are lost in these wars. I mean, innocent women and children die. And they don't even, these people, they sleep fine at night as well. I mean, I don't think they have nightmares because I don't think they have a conscience anymore.
I don't know. I heard from an interview the other night that it's possible Biden walks around naked on drugs in the White House at night. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a rumor.
Well, maybe
he doesn't sleep well. I don't know.
He is a nightmare.
Terror, naked, walking through the White House. It is a nightmare just to find that.
Yeah.
If you're a maid or something, it's like, oh gosh, okay.
That would be terrifying to see that.
Yeah, run.
Can you imagine if he had to be confronted by that? That would be just like horrifying.
Imagine being a child.
And Lord. Does he or does he not beat his dog? I want to know. I'm just asking questions. We're just asking questions here. Does he beat his dog? I don't know.
Well, it looked like he might have kicked him that one time, but then they go, oh, no, that was him, just gently nudging him out of the way or whatever, man.
I was pulling his tail. I was coming out of the shower and slipped.
Yeah, I mean, this whole Uncle Joe thing, Mr. Nice Guy, he's never been a nice guy. In fact, he even said one time, a long time ago in an interview, because I'm not necessarily a nice guy, he said. And then in the debates, he said, I don't care if you think I'm the devil incarnate. I mean, he knows he's evil.
He took down Corn Pop. He's a tough guy. But you know, their dogs have bitten a record number of Secret Service agents for sure. I mean, it's not even close. It's like just constantly, why are your dogs so mean? I see so many dogs. I know so many dogs. I love dogs. I mean, I love dogs. And man, you gotta be a bad owner if your dog is vicious like that to attack Secret Service. They should be like, hey, what's up, Secret Service? You're this guy that keeps the biscuits in his pocket, right? Yeah, I like you. You know?
And not just one dog, multiple dogs.
Absolutely. So, Sergeant and Major, and you know, again, he gives them these names like Major and Sergeant instead of Fluffy. Hey, Fluffy. But anyway, folks, we are out of time for right now. We've got 2 hours, plenty of time left in the show, but we got to go to break. We'll be right back after this.
And we're on radio break.
Woohoo!
All right.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Hunter, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's come back and do that in the next segment, for sure. Because that's a perfect 10-minute time to talk about it.
You guys were talking about Nikki Haley earlier, and she has been outed as having that LinkedIn co-founder supporting her campaign.
The Jeffrey Epstein guy.
Yeah, Reid Hoffman, I think was his name. And he's the co-founder of LinkedIn, and he is backing her. I mean, that's huge that she would take his money. And of course, when someone's indebted, you know, they tend to do what their master would control them to do. I'm just, I hope people realize that she's definitely a neocon, just like they say, right? Nikki neocon.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. Warmongering, neocon, neoliberal. I mean, they're basically one and the same. I mean, Bush Jr. is basically on board with every liberal policy out there.
I just can't wait for President Trump to get back.
Boy, I tell you what, you and me both, man. I just don't know what to say if he loses. I can't even imagine. Talked to a friend today, and he said, you know, it's, it could be years before it's completely over, but it would. I just don't think. I think if he loses, we don't have a chance. I mean, I would have to kind of reassess everything and try to put my finger on the pulse. But just from where I'm standing now, if he doesn't win, I think it's over for America. The America that we have grown to love, respect, and desire is over if he loses. I believe that.
Well, I think it's kind of already at that point because we have allowed them to get away with this Joe Bribin facade for so long, you know. He is an illegitimate usurper. He shouldn't even be in there. And people are allowing this to continue even after all of this information after information. We're talking about the classified documents and, you know, the money from all the different companies or the LLCs, you know, from different nations to Hunter and going back to his father, his uncle, the grandchildren. You know, they're the way that people are pouring over our border. I believe they said there's something like, I think I wrote it down. Let me look and see if I can find it. Somewhere here.
But now flip-floppy Biden is saying, oh, the border is a problem. Now he's saying it's a problem. I mean, he's a flip-flopper. He says whatever he needs to say to try to save face.
There's 5,000 illegals being released into the U.S. every single day that are not pledging allegiance to America.
Yeah, those numbers are probably small, too. And they want to give them all amnesty, which is just going to open the floodgates. Like, oh, they're all citizens now. Let's triple the number. Let's, get it up to 20,000 a day. Why not?
He's aiding and abetting a foreign invasion on our own soil. And nothing
I just
is
hope
being
these
done.
people, I just hope these people coming up here are smart enough to understand what makes America tick and to shy away from things that don't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, don't vote for it. If
Don't
you're gonna
vote
get
at all
free
because
whatever,
they're not citizens.
don't vote for that.
Well, I mean, there's very little that the Biden administration has done and the globalists have done that has not come with a boomerang backfire.
All right, 30
effect.
seconds.
So this could backfire on them as
Can I
well, and
pee?
they all become
Do I have time to
Republicans.
No.
Damn. All right, I'm
Not,
just going.
not
I'm gonna
even if you
depend
had
it.
the flak rock
Given the
in front of
depends.
you, man.
Emergency depends. I work for a reason. Let's do it.
Yep. And here it comes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're live right now.
Welcome back to the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Sunday night edition, where we talk about everything going on in the world, folks. We're getting into it tonight. Let's talk about Hunter Biden next. Hunter Biden has been indicted on 9 charges. Tax evasion are the big ones. The report that they put out showed the extravagant amount of money that he spent on prostitutes, on drugs, race cars, you name it. The guy pissed away millions and millions of dollars on what were considered loans. Okay, so he didn't have to pay taxes on a lot of these. Forget the money he actually earned, which totaled about 1.4 million over 4 years that he allegedly hasn't paid taxes on. But the loans that were never required to be paid back, millions and millions and millions of dollars. They're saying that if those weren't loans and they were just payments, then his actual tax bills would be 5 times what they are. So they've got him. But it just so happens that nothing they charged him with has any ties back to his father, which is very convenient. Secondly, he's supposed to testify in front of Congress on Tuesday in a closed-door session, which he's saying, I'm not going to go to. I want it to be open door or nothing. That's not how Congress works. That's not how subpoenas work. You subpoenaed the House of Representatives. That means it's on their terms, not yours. So, no, if they want it closed door, it's going to be closed door. Nothing you can do about it. But they're saying now that these indictments are going to put him in a position where he's going to say, I can't talk about that because it's related to a case that's, the typical, there's an ongoing case, we can't talk about it. So they're saying it could potentially give him cover for his testimony on Tuesday. Time will tell. Motivation, is this them going after them, or is this the system helping to cover up what they're doing, to hide the ties back to Biden?
Well, in my opinion, of course, it's to protect. That's what they've been doing all of this time, protecting the Bidens. And I believe the reason why is because in reality, the Bidens aren't the only one that have been getting away with this. And they'll be the string that unravels the whole entire sweater, because it'll just open up precedent, which is what they've done to themselves. When they're going after President Trump, they just keep moving the goalposts. So, they might be able to protect the Bidens right now, but they're not doing a very good job. The information is getting out there into the public consciousness, and we are going to want some answers and some accountability. And I would say that Hunter is lucky that we're only talking about taxes right now, because their family is guilty of so much more.
So much more. It's ridiculous. Now, Donald Trump insisted that he was going to testify on Monday morning in his trial in New York. He put out a truth today that said, I'm not going to, because this is such an open and shut slam case that they don't have it. We're innocent. We've got the top bankers in the world. There's no victim. Everybody said they'd lend money to the Trump organization again tomorrow because they get that money back with interest and there's never an issue. Mm-hmm. So everybody made money here. There was no loser. And yet we're seeing them go after a former president. And you can't tell me the Biden administration wasn't behind this to some degree. He came out and said, hey, I'm going to go after you next. You just wait. You're actually guilty. Barry.
That's right. Yeah.
Is that fair for him to say that and to do that?
Well, he's always said, I know nothing about this. I know nothing. And then it turns out he did know about it. You know, that comes out in the media later. So Biden is basically a chronic liar, and he lies about little stuff too. Like he just makes up wild stories about, oh, my grandfather and I, we did this. I was, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I was a nurse once. I was a doctor once. I was an attorney once. I mean, the guy is basically insane.
I was a dentist one summer.
When Hunter was having his teeth done from doing too much crack, I was the one that put his dentures in.
That summer I worked as a dentist. And I learned a lot that summer is working as a dentist in California. Wait, what?
Yeah, he's a legend in his own mind, for sure.
But if Trump goes back on him and says, you know what, man, my intelligence agencies to look into stuff and to go after you, like they impeached him, saying to Ukraine, hey, can you guys look into this? They impeached Donald Trump for that. Now it's pretty much common knowledge that, yes, Hunter Biden was getting money from Ukraine through Burisma. Joe Biden was the big guy. He got 10% and yada, yada, yada. It's like common knowledge today. But when they impeached Trump over it, it was all kind of new to everybody. It was that sort of lag. It was in between the lag of conspiracy theory and truth. Mm-hmm. So is it right for Donald Trump to say, hey, I'm going to do the same thing to you? It's coming, buddy.
Yeah, I see it as justice, though. I don't see it as, I mean, we've known their guilt for a long time about a lot of different things. I mean, the deep state is a real thing. They've been doing all kinds of criminal activity for quite a while. So it's not like, I don't see it as revenge. I see it as just, hey, we're going to restore the rule of law. Just like he said on day one, and he said it tongue in cheek. He goes, I'm going to be dictatorial, but he's not being dictatorial. It was tongue in cheek, to get the media, to troll the media, basically. He said, I'm going to basically get the oil going again. That's not being dictatorial. That's being smart. That's being wise. That's actually helping our economy.
Commonsensical.
Yes. We'll have a strategic petroleum reserve again. Yeah. And Yotivation, you see where I'm getting at here, right? They're actually guilty. Whereas Trump, they have to trump up charges against him. They have to find these crazy things where there's no victim, there's no nothing in New York. It's just a complete, obvious scam. Whereas the Bidens, you're seeing the money.
That's right.
Big money, millions of dollars.
And you know what the craziest part is? People had no problem believing the Russia collusion delusion hoax with no evidence. They were lies, fabrications, made up. They believed it. Now we're talking about the bribings, and we have a paper trail, a money trail. We have reasons. We have all this evidence, and they don't believe it. It's just kind of crazy. I know it's because...
I remember...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, I remember reading about the hookers jumping on the bed and being on it and thought, wow, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. Like, how could anyone take this seriously?
That's hard to believe that they bought it. Hook, line, and sinker, man. The liberals did anyway.
That's right. And that was because
they wanted it.
Yeah, they loved to hate President Trump. And, they didn't need any reason, but every time the TV threw something out there, they're like, yeah, that's another reason, another thing. And they were all lies. And it even goes back to that very first lie that I remember was when he was talking about that reporter and he waved his hands around and they're like, he was making fun of disabled people. And people believe that. It's just there's so many lies out there that people still want to believe, even though they've been debunked.
Yeah.
And we live in two separate realities because reality is based on perceptions, not really what actually factually is true. And you have those people who you don't even have to prove anything. They just believe it, that a man could be a woman, for instance. It doesn't make any sense. It's not real, but they believe it. And that becomes their reality. And then there's people like us who are like, you know what, I'm just going to hold on to facts to remain in reality, what is true and what is petrified. And so there's two different realities going on right now at the same time. And it's really wherever the experiment.
What Al Gore was saying was basically their desperation. He was airing out their desperation of losing the control. Because the control, like Trump said, I'm giving the control back to you, the people. We are coming to upend their empire, their corruption. We're going to overthrow their insanity with justice and with the law. Oh, man, I'm so fired up, man. Man, I'm telling you
and
what.
Folks, this is the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show, Sunday night edition, where we get fired up. We also have breaks and commercials. We're going to take one now.
And we're on radio break. That was great. I loved it. Yeah, we also take commercial breaks. Yeah, because we can.
Yeah, we're going to do it now.
We're going to do it right now.
I was getting so fired up, I couldn't even spit out the words. I was like, oh, I want to do Alex Jones. Just go, ah!
I was waiting for the bullhorn.
I got frozen. I couldn't think. Right. I was so mad. I was like, we're taking it over.
All right, where's our Willie at?
Well, that's what it comes down to, really, is that we actually, as I was saying earlier, we have a duty, to overthrow a government that's being tyrannical. And
she said duty.
But that's where we've got to get, somebody was saying, who was it? Megyn Kelly, I think, said that she thought that if they locked Donald Trump up and they put him in jail and they wouldn't let him out, that we would burn, our nation to the ground. And I just don't see that happening because we haven't done that yet, and we have been.
We're not
screwed.
Black Lives Matter. We want that stuff. We like our bank. We like our grocery store.
Yeah, it's our community, and we're not them. We are much more logical and responsible. And so I think that we would go about it in a more commonsensical way. And it's just that it's taking so long to get to this point where people realize that we actually do have a treasonous government right now. Well, I don't even know if some people realize it's treasonous, but they're getting there.
They are treasonous and traitorous.
Yeah, I mean,
sick of it.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to Keeman Money Arts over in Twitch chat. He's always in there on Sunday nights, just waiting for Willie to show up. And I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for him to one day make.
He's not.
No, he is.
Oh, he is. Okay, good.
I'm waiting for one day.
I thought you said not.
Yeah, that Keeman will make a comic book about Willie's Worm Farm, since that's what he does. Keeman is a comic book artist, and he's a really good one too.
Well, Keeman,
that would be funny. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah.
It writes itself though, right? I mean, it really does.
And he's like, bring on Willie. Yeah. Everybody wants to see Willie, man. Where is our Willie?
And Hansel, man, we need Hansel back.
Yeah, we need Hansel.
I mean, you can't have Willie's Worm Farm without Hansel.
I miss Hansel so much.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
I got so stressed out.
He started out without Hansel. Come on now.
I'm having a cramp in my pinky toe. It hurts so bad. Ah! Oh, no. It's like, oh.
Hold on, folks. That no signal when the...
There's Willie. I see Willie.
Willie!
He's so purty.
Hi, man. Hi, doggone. How y'all doing tonight? Like I am.
Willie, we missed you.
Yeah, I was bad sick last week.
Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better.
I was still wanting to make the show, but then I fell asleep, and I'm like, doggone me. No, I got some.
Hey, we're on break right now, so you can say doggone, but, you know.
Doggone word. Yeah.
We always miss you.
I don't know why they made it illegal, man. Howard Stern says a lot worse than that. Howard Stern's got the money to pay the fines, right?
Can't hear you, man. Are you in the bathroom?
No.
Sound like you're in the toilet.
I don't know why, no.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Okay. Well, maybe I have my finger over the mic or something.
Dang it, Willie.
I'm sick of the lies, and Kate the Great did a great job on that song last time. We're still working to make it worldwide thing.
Is it finished?
Yeah. I don't know if that was the finished version they sent me or not. I need to get with them. My phone is broken, so I'm using Bertha May's phone right now. I got to get me a new phone.
Thank you, Bertha May.
Thank you, Bertha May.
Oh, you're welcome there, Slick.
Slick.
You slick on my roof. Anyway, I missed you guys.
We miss you too, Willie. I'm glad you're feeling better.
I'm still dealing with the insurance company trying to get me a vehicle, and I'm having to pay for a rent-a-car out of my own pocket nowadays. And really wanting to make a trip out west in February, and hoping that's still going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, we were just talking about making a comic book about you, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. David Hogg did a skit one time. It looked pretty good with Willie doing stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And just take that show on the road.
When is David Hogg coming back, man? We need him. Man, David Hogg.
We miss you.
Where is you at?
Yeah.
No.
I think Willie actually they're on the farm.
Sorry, that's my dog Blue. That was my dog Blue howling.
Yeah, Mama Lou might have to go check and see if Hansel's in the basement or in the warehouse in the dungeon, putting the lotion up.
Let's see if he got.
Oh my God! When he comes back, he's gonna have the smoothest skin ever.
So, Willie, for the racing cows that you have, are the monkeys going to be riding them, or are the worms going to be riding them? And how will you be able to tell which worm, what the worm's name is, if it's riding it? Just by the number on the cow that you spray painted on?
Well,
Yeah, I don't think it'll be the worms riding the cows, but that's a great idea.
The worms ride the monkeys.
Well, right now, the idea, we're going to take Willie's racing cows and hook them up to the Pinto and
On a convention that's happening.
and I don't know, maybe teach them how to fly or something. There's a bunch of
Ooh, you could fly with Santa Claus on Christmas Eve.
Here you go, flying cows.
I
Yeah,
thought
we
you
should
was
even
going to
talk
tow the
about
sleigh
that
with
kind
your
of stuff,
Pinto
right?
this year.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Because do we want to do a holiday special again?
Yeah.
Right.
Without,
Or do
Because
we
we'll
want
have probably 2 Sundays where we won't do shows in December that are probably coming up really quick.
Yeah, I don't know what's Mark's idea on it.
So I would say let's do something. I'll try to think of a way for us to do something that doesn't involve us missing out on our fantastic Santa that we had last year that I can never top. What was my idea for Santa? I would just say, oh. I don't know. Yeah, I was not going to be a good Santa. Not like it was not.
yeah. Yeah, there were some peculiar things going on that night.
Oh, boy.
Missed you. Missed you too, Bullhorn Barry.
Hey, thank you.
Y'all don't gotta be missing each other. We could just, always do the show together and we won't miss nothing.
It gives you time for appreciation.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna watch in your new movie, Willy Wonka. You're starring in that new Willy Wonka rendition.
Oh,
Has anyone seen the
no! Oh my God! Willie has like the golden ticket or the bronze ticket to sell the worm farm to a kid.
It's a
he's got the
giveaway.
monkeys instead of the Oompa Loompas. Oh my God, that would
funny,
be
actually.
so freaking
It's not
crazy, man. Can you imagine
You get
that?
them in. You
I
have
think
to
we need
buy
to do it.
packages of
It's
beef
a Christmas
jerky.
giveaway, man.
It's the
Yeah,
Christmas
some little German kid, gets a golden ticket in his hot dog.
their hot
Yeah.
dog. Yeah, their warm hot dog. They have,
Bertha Mason doesn't have to buy cricket flour, and there's golden tickets in the cricket flour.
Sure.
you got 30 seconds, guys and gal.
Yeah, Willie's standing by.
Yeah, let's see where Willie takes us tonight.
You have stolen my future. By giving me this farm, you have stolen my future.
Here's the countdown. 5, 4,
Greta.
3, 2, 1. And you're live and on the radio side right now.
Welcome to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show Sunday Night Edition, where we've got with us the one and only Willie Lee from Willie's Worm Farm and Cricket Emporium, two separate entities, states. We'll get into that later. Willie, how you doing, man? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, how y'all folks doing tonight?
We're doing great. I asked you how you're doing.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm doing wonderful, man. Hey, but I've been told, man, a lot of times I come in and I ignore folks, and I get to run off the mouth, and I don't ask nobody how they doing, man. And I just want y'all to know that I love each and every one of you, man. Here's what I want. Hey, Yoda, y'all got a Yoda?
You're gonna try to sell something, aren't you? Whenever you talk like that, you're trying to sell something.
Yeah. Hey, I got ideas, man. Hey, I got ideas. Yeah. Hey, I just come up with this idea. It was all my own idea, but it was really somebody else's idea. But I'm gonna make it like it was my idea. Hey, Yotivation Nation. Hey,
Hi, Willie.
Oh, yeah. I love you, Yotivation Nation. Hey, I missed you. I doggone.
I missed you.
I just want to say hello, and I want to tell you that I missed you and I love you, and I'm sorry that you got that restraining order against me and everything, and hey, maybe one of these days, hey, I got plans, man. I got plans. We're gonna go worldwide, and we're gonna go out west. And hey, I want you to. I'm gonna pick you up. I'm gonna send somebody up there. And wherever you live up there, and I'm gonna pick you up, and we're gonna have a rendezvous, man. Hey, we're gonna get you and a whole bunch of other people together. That Bullhorn Barry. Hey, Bullhorn Barry.
Yeah.
Hey, Bullhorn
Yotivation,
Barry.
you're comfortable with this? Yeah, because we got the restraining order for a reason. Retraining order is what you call it, Willie. But come on, she got that for a reason. We all talked about it. You can't just be, saying, "Hey, I'm going to come up north and pick you up."
Yeah. Hey, here's what I want to know. Hey, Josh, what y'all do with that Josh who? Hey, Bullhorn Barry, he's smart, man. Hey, but I miss that Josh. And yo Rizzo too. Y'all don't run them. Y'all don't run them folks. I know what you fixing to say. I love the ones you're with.
Hey, I miss them too, man. Don't get me wrong. I miss them too. We had a phenomenal group in the day, but things evolve, things change, and it is what it is. But I never tried to run anybody off. I love both those guys. deeper.
Well,
And
I just got a case of the gut going, man. I don't know what happened to him. That David Hogg too, man. Hey,
Mhm.
hey, Barry, I got an important question for you, man. Hey, here's what I want to know. I want to know how come there's a word. It's called refrigerator, but it ain't got a D in it. But you say fridge and it's got a D in it.
That's a good question, man.
Yeah. Yes. Hey, see, you the smart one, man. Hey, here's something else I want to know. Yeah, I want to know something else, man. Hey, if a fella is bald, what color is his hair on his driving license, man? Look at that. I want. Yeah, not. Hey, I want to know something else. Hey, Bullhorn Barry, because you smart, man. Hey, I want to know. Here's what I want to know. I want to know. What I want to know. I forgot what I wanted to know. No, hey, what I wanted to know is how come bald people they got to wear hairnets?
I think there's a level of bald where you probably don't need to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you're straight up, like just not a hair. No,
it's a matter of sweat. That's why.
You're good.
It's a matter of sweat. That's why.
Well, they call it a bald net instead of a hair net.
Yeah, but I imagine most bald people, if you got a little hair on the side, you got to wear it because, hey, man, you're losing it faster than anybody here.
Look, I didn't come up with a bunch of ideas, man. Hey, that one idea I was talking about a minute ago that I had an idea, but it wasn't my idea, but I'm going to pretend like it's my idea. Is that an idea about I'm going to sell a cricket flour, man? I'm thinking about... I don't want to give up the farm totally. I need to get back down to Waldo. Hey, for all y'all out there that don't know, my name is Willie Lee, and I run Willie's Worm Farm down in Waldo, Florida, and Willie's Cricket Emporium up in Sandy Run, South Carolina. Hey, and I got racing cows too. Hey, that's something else I'm gonna tell y'all about, man. Hey, I'm gonna take them racing.
Yeah, how's that
cows.
coming?
Hey, I'm gonna hook them up to my Pinto, and we're gonna play Santa Claus. It's gonna be the cows, all kind of lights and stuff on them. I'm gonna have a lead cow with a big old red nose on him and everything. He's gonna be Rudolph the Red-Nosed Cow. We're gonna sing that song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Cow. And a very good nose. I don't know. I know. Hey, but we're gonna do that, man. Hey, and we're gonna auction off we sell cricket flour up here in Sandy Run, South Carolina. Hey, and I'm gonna get somebody to help me run the cricket emporium up here, and I'm gonna get some youngin', man. Hey, we're gonna sell this cricket flour, and we're gonna sell a golden ticket, man. Some of them cricket flowers bags, they're gonna have golden tickets in them, and they're gonna be like 5 or 10 of them, and then whoever gets the golden ticket, they gonna be able to the Cricket Emporium and learn all about it and everything, and then we'll have to decide, make it like that Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. Y'all seen that show?
Yeah, but this is like basically take feces and grow crickets in it, and then like turn the crickets into food or something. It's really nasty. I don't think any kid would ever want to see that, let alone own it or tour it.
Yeah, hey man, hey, it's nutritious, man. That's what it is.
No, it's not. No, it's disgusting.
Yeah, no, I had to sing you some, man. You can make cricket cakes, man. You can take crab meat, with the flour, and smush it all together, and you got your cricket. You can't say that word. Cricket crab cakes.
See, and this is just ground up crickets that are fed poop and like grass and stuff, and then they get all fat. You grind them up and then bleach them, and then set them out in the sun so they turn white, and then you grind them up and turn it into something that might look kind of like flour, and then you find a wing, or a leg. It's disgusting.
Hey, it's all in the manufacturing, man. Hey, that's what. Even Tyson Foods, man. They might become one of my distributors, man. Hey, because y'all look on the labels, certain Tyson food products, man. Hey, y'all find it's all got insectoids in it, man.
Okay, well, good for you. I didn't have so much a problem with it, Willie, when you were selling them to Europe. I just caught that was kind of funny. But now you're getting into this cricket flower stuff, and you're selling that in the United States, and it starts to be like a problem, you know?
Yeah,
it's not funny anymore.
Yeah, hey, and them worm hot dogs, man. Hey, when I had that worm hot dog business, I ain't been doing a whole lot here lately because Hansel, man. Hey, I need Aunt Mama Lou. Hey, y'all do me. Hey, y'all call Aunt Mama Lou up on the phone. Hey,
all right, let me patch her in. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. It'll be a sec.
Hello.
Oh, wait, no, here she is. Yeah, you there? Aunt Mama Lou. Hey, you're on the radio. How are you doing? It's Censorship Sucks. You're on the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Show because Willie was asking about you. How is Hansel?
Hi, fellas.
Yeah, hey, and we broadcast live on the Willie's Worm Farm Roundtable Radio Show, too.
No. Willie, this is my show.
Yeah, it's simultaneous, man. Hey, I'm killing 2 or 3 birds with one rock, man. Hey, Mama Lou. Hey, I had a dream the other night, and the only thing is though is I don't know if it was a dream or if it was real life. Hey, but I had a dream about Hansel, man. Hey, I know we hadn't heard from Hansel, and I think I ain't sure, but I think he might be still in the barn, in the hole in the ground, in one of them warehouses, man. Hey, you know we dug all them holes way back when. Inside of the warehouse, and we was going to go to the center of the earth, and we only got to a certain point, and all them creepy characters and everything come out, and we abandoned ship, and we come back out.
Yeah, I remember.
And
honey, I think we got those metal detectors around here. I could send the monkeys out, let them go search and see if they can find anything buried out there.
Yeah. I'm thinking I might have accidentally left Hansel. I think I might have accidentally left him in one of them holes where he couldn't get out. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it was a dream.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
you might have left Hansel where?
Yeah, he might have got left. We went exploring. We went in one of them warehouses down in the hole, and I climbed up the ladder. It was like a rope ladder, and I was thinking maybe I might have accidentally left Hansel behind in the hole in the ground. Does
he have food? Is there food down there?
Yeah, no. It's stocked, man. Hey, yeah, plenty of food, man. Plenty of sardines and worm hot dogs and juice and all kind of stuff down there in that hole, man. Hey, but I don't know. I can't remember. I can't remember if he's there or if he ain't there. But hey, Aunt Mama Lou, I probably need to get you to check since you down there in Florida. You need to check down that hole. Get back with us. But hey, speaking of holes, man. Hey, I didn't come up with the idea up here too, man. You know, I got them glory holes down there in Florida. I'm gonna start digging glory holes up here in South Carolina because they got college kids up here.
Willie.
Hey, and for all
Willie,
your life,
Willie, I've explained to you 1,000 times, okay?
Yeah.
When you talk about a glory hole, everybody listening on the radio thinks you're talking about something completely different than what you're talking about. You got to be careful about talking about that. These are swimming holes. They're not holes, okay?
Glory holes, man.
What you have are swimming holes. They're diving holes.
Yeah, no, holes, man. Hey, we dig these big old holes in the ground, man. Hey, and the college kids, that way it is down in Waldo, Florida, them college kids, they come up from Gainesville, they get up on top of the outbuildings and they jump in them holes and they holler, glory hole! No, hi. Hey, they got a university.
But the entire world thinks that's something very different. You don't want to go down that way, Willie. Just please start calling them diving holes or jumping holes.
No, but they holler.
They're jumping holes.
Hey, you know what they call it? I got signs out that said Willie's Glory Hole. Hey, and I know. Hey, they get up on the outbuildings.
Oh, Willie.
No, they holler.
I swear.
Oh, and now right before they go splash, man.
Yeah. Hey, just curiosity here. I'm just curious. When you got bathrooms on the facility, right?
Sometimes.
Right? You got bathrooms. Do you ever find that they mysteriously have little holes cut in the bathroom walls? I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, man. Hey, they got one hole that's shaped like a half moon, and that's so the flies can get in and out. And the flies, they go in the hole and they lay the eggs, and they start turning in little worms and stuff in, and they wiggle around.
Okay.
And
All
that's
right.
and that's what happens with the poop and stuff. It goes in there, and them little flies, they turn into maggots, and they make more flies.
Willie, I just want to make sure you're not like the biggest Tinder like date spot for enthusiasts. I'm telling you, I think your farm is a sex farm. I think there's a lot of that you don't know about.
No, man. No, hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something. Hey, Saul Good, man. Saul Good had some nefarious, some bad stuff going on there one time, and he was doing a whole bunch of stuff he had ought not be doing. But that's all Saul Good, man. Hey, but I ain't allowed to talk bad about Saul Good because I need Saul Good for something here coming up, man. Hey, but here I got
motivation. Let me talk for a sec. Give me the phone. Hey, Willie, I don't appreciate what you're saying. That is completely wrong. Okay, I never have any scandals whatsoever in my history whatsoever. This is Saul Good.
That's right. Hey, Saul. Hey, man, you're right, man. Hey, I stand corrected. I can't talk bad about you, and I can't say
right
about you. No, hey.
No, you can't.
Yeah, hey, man, I'm gonna need your help with some stuff coming up, man. Hey, I got all kind of stuff going on, and I'm gonna need some of your legal advice. And man, hey, you got a bunch of money for me too, man. Look here, I'm getting poor down here. And, I have.
Money, do you need money? Because I have plenty of bits of coins for you.
Yeah, man. Hey, because you and Michael the Midget, y'all running that Bitcoin mine that I got down over in Colorado, man. No,
I owe you like about 7 of them. Okay, that's they're like $40,000 now. So there you go. That should keep you going for a while.
Yeah, but not. Hey, look at him. And for all y'all out there in Radio Land, man, hey, I'm trying to raise some money. Hey, and I come across this website where these women they selling the underwear. Hey, I got underwear. Yeah, no, hey, I'm gonna sell my underwear. Hey, I didn't sold 5 pair of underwear.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
Yeah, not. Hey, and anybody out there wants to buy my underwear? Hey, they $5 a piece, man. Hey, look at this.
Barry, you can mark those up and sell them on eBay for at least 15 or 20.
I think that banned that kind of thing. Let's hope.
Right. Well, I get Motivation Nation to sell my underwear for me. Look at him.
No, really.
Do not. Your retraining order doesn't allow that. Am I wrong, Yo?
No, that's very much a part of it. Very much.
That's very much.
I cannot touch your underwear at any point.
Yeah, not. Hey, man, and I'm doing DoorDashing, trying to make some money too, man. DoorDashing. Hey, I send my monkeys out. They ride them cows, man. The monkeys ride the cows, and they go down to McDonald's. They pick up people's food, and they take them to their house.
No,
oh, man.
Okay, I could see them doing the deliveries, but people, of course, would reject. If a monkey brings my dinner to the door, I think I'm going to reject it. I don't know. I might just so hard that I just take it and eat it. Like, I don't know, but I would assume somebody's going to complain. That can't be legal.
Hey, it's what you call a niche, man. A niche is people pay to see the monkeys. They jump off the doggone. Hey, the cows, they got little saddlebag things on them, and that's what to keep the food in. And the monkeys, they jump off them cows and they run up and they ring the doorbell. And people pays good money, man. Hey, the only thing is though is the monkeys, they get paid tips, and I got these monkeys stealing my tips from me, and I got to take these monkeys when I find out they steal my tips, and I cage them up for a couple of weeks and teach them a lesson.
No. It's their tips. They earn the tips. They're not your tips.
Yeah, but hey, I take good care of them monkeys, man. And whatever tip money they get, they're supposed to go to Willie's Worm Farm Cricket Emporium Incorporated.
No. If they go out and make tips doing DoorDash, I say they get to keep those tips, right, Barry? Right? Motivation.
But hey, they can't spend. Hey, look at him. Here's something.
Well, hey, they can spend if they need something on Amazon or wherever, they can order it up. Just like you or me. If they're working, they should be able to do that.
Hey man, all a monkey. Hey, look at him. All a monkey needs is food and a roof over its head, man. Hey, it really don't even. It really don't even need a roof over its head, man. Hey, they got the monkey.
And they don't need a job doing DoorDash either.
Yep. Yeah, well, hey, they got to get. Hey, I got over 200 and some monkeys, man. Hey, and I'm gonna import me some of them little spider monkeys. What they got too. Hey, look at, here's what I want to know. Y'all covering the.
I think the cows should get a cut too. I think the cows should get half the money, half the tips.
Yeah, no, man. Hey, them cows.
They're working just as hard as the monkeys are. They should get half the money.
Yeah, but cows don't generally like tipping censorship.
Yeah, but hey, look at him. Tipping cows. That's funny.
I like that.
Tommy Boy, that movie Tommy Boy with that Chris somebody tipping cows. That's funny. She's smart. Hey, no, but look at him. Hey, I was looking at the news and everything that's going on, man.
You got 5 seconds, Willie. Go ahead. 5 seconds. 3, 2,
Alex Jones.
1. Okay, we're out of time, folks. We got to go to break. We'll be right back after this.
Oh, yeah. We're on radio break. I was trying to take a drink, and then Motivation says, "Oh, no, I can't touch his underwear." I'm like, oh, my God. It was like almost coming out my nose, man. I was like, that's so bad.
That's a biohazard.
And then he's like, yeah, we're going to take and... I take the money from the monkey's tips. I'm like, Jesus. Where do you come up with these things, man? These are great.
Yeah, just commandeering the monkey's tips. It's just a step too far, man. A bridge too far, bro.
Yeah, all they need is food and water and a roof over their head. And he goes, and they don't even need a roof over their head. Oh, my God. You guys are crazy. I love it. You guys are the best.
Crazy like a
you,
fox.
Willie.
All right, and we are live and on the air.
Welcome back to hour 2 of the Censorship Sucks Roundtable Radio Shows, where we do some of the fastest commercial breaks you'll ever see. It's the fastest 2 hours of radio. Why wouldn't our commercial breaks be the same way? So, Willie is insane, and I think we should stand up strong and firmly insist that he share his tips fairly between his cows and his monkeys. Am I wrong?
I agree.
Yeah, it's just human, it's decency. I say it's human decency, and you think, well, no, it's animals, but no, it's our human decency. Yeah. We're the ones who decide these things, and I don't think Willie should get that money.
Mm-hmm. It's the just thing to do, man.
Yeah,
maybe we should look at that in his upcoming contract renewal.
Leg up in life.
CS.
Yeah, sure.
Let's look into that for his next contract renewal.
Exactly. It's something needs to be done. Okay, so let's go to Argentina. They just swore in their new president, Javier Milei. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but the guy's pretty darn cool.
Oh yeah, Wolverine.
Yeah, he wants Trump to come on down, meet some friends of his and yada yada. He is the guy who's saying basically we're going to do a shock and awe on the economy. We're going to cut spending like mad. We're going to just put this train back on the rails.
Absolutely.
Our country economically sound. We're going to get rid of all the socialist, communist crap and just make Argentina the economic engine it was born to be. It's a gigantic country. It's got so much like fertile farmland, so many cows. You can't even like go around a corner without hitting 20 cows. Cattle, horses, you name it. This country is teeming with fertile land that is just ready to produce so much wealth for the people if they only had a government that got out of the way and let them do it. And so we're going to see if this guy can actually get it done. What do you think, yo? Is he going to get it done? Is this guy all talk? Is he going to get it done? He's kind of crazy.
He's kind of crazy. He has the energy for it, that's for sure. And he seems to have the support of the people. He's definitely got some great ideas. So I think he's leading the way, and he's going to be a beacon of hope for other nations, including America, because we're all going through some level of this insanity with our governments. And I'm just happy to see, you know, that it can be reeled back in. I'm interested to see where their future goes.
Absolutely. Barry, man, is this guy the real deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I was ranting about before the break. The people of Argentina overthrew the deep state legally, lawfully, through justice, you know, just by exercising their power to vote, right? And to voice their opinion. And that's what needs to happen here in America. We need to overthrow the deep state lawfully, legally, through justice, by using our constitutional right to speak up and to vote and to hold these criminals accountable.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a little turbulent. This guy is sort of he's like a Zelensky, sort of like a ex-comedian or something, if I'm not mistaken. But he's got that wild vibe.
He's got that Ric Flair flair.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, he's out when he won the election. He had a chainsaw with some like big, you know, safety thing over it. Obviously, there's no chain on it, and he just revved it and said, "I'm going to cut the budget. Going to cut it, all of it." You know, just.
Well, like, don't you think that makes the deep state so angry when you have somebody that doesn't even act like a politician? He's not all uptight. Yeah. He's just like he seems like you know, somebody from a normal average Joe, you know, like these politicians are so disconnected and they're all fake in their little suits and they act all, you know, I mean, that's not what we need right now. We need people that want to bring real change.
Yes, absolutely.
And if they're a little wild, they're a little crazy, so be it. People like that. We're sick of these uptight fakes.
We absolutely are. And they're getting their justice. We just saw the University of Pennsylvania president, Liz McGill, drop out of her job. She quit because she went to Congress last week and testified about anti-Semitism on campus. And they said, hey, you know, if you call for genocide of the Jews, is that frowned on your university? MIT, Harvard, University of Pennsylvania were present there. All of these presidents said, you know what, depends. You know, are they acting on it? Okay, you're calling for genocide, that's okay. But if you act on it and you actually genocide the Jews, that's where you cross the line. You know? What? So anyway,
you can't incite violence. That is actually illegal to incite violence. I mean, if that is your intent,
sure.
That is your intent. When you say we got to wipe everybody out, that is pure evil.
That's calling for genocide. And Liz Stefanik, I think her name is, called and said, hey, you know, yes or no question, is calling for the genocide of the Jews against your free speech policies. Well, no, but okay, what about fat people? What about transgenders? Misgendering someone, is that against you? Well, yes, of course. Of course, you cannot misgender someone. Okay, but gas the Jews, that's okay? Yeah. It's a very
sick
mentality that they have to say, well, you know, that's a little more complicated.
But don't you think that that's exposing what, that two-tier system, they selective enforcement and so forth, they just use these rules and regulations to go after whoever they don't like at the moment. It has nothing to do with justice. It has nothing to do with equality. This is all about basically bullying anybody they want to bully. That's what this comes down to at the end of the day. Yeah.
And a huge hedge fund came out the other day and said, we're going to give you $100 million, and now we are not going to give you $100 million. Literally $100 million to the University of Pennsylvania got pulled. Okay? That's a big deal. If you're the president there, you're insignificant compared to $100 million. They will get rid of you in a second and put in whoever they need to get that $100 million. So to think that these universities can't be bought out with money is just not true. They can. Mm-hmm. It's just that conservatives need to sort of step up, I guess, because it's now a thing that higher education is bought and paid for by the biggest donors. You threaten to pull $100 million, boom, she's fired the next day. Harvard, MIT haven't gotten that threat yet to the degree where it snapped and said, oh, we got to do this. But it's getting there, folks. And it's sad. It's such a sad thing, that universities are just like whoever pays them the most. That's what we teach everybody. That's what side we take.
And they're all for free speech if it's something no matter how controversial and insane it is, if they're for it, you can do it, or even illegal. There's go for it. I'm for free speech pretty much across the board, but I'm not for breaking the law. You can't incite violence, right? That's illegal. Yeah. If you want to say you don't like Jewish people or you don't like Palestinians or you don't like Christians or you don't like this, that's your free speech, man. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Deal with it. But you can't be inciting violence.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. Look at the UK. What's happening with Conor McGregor, in Ireland. Mm-hmm. The whole protest, the eruption of people starting to say, what's going on here? And you look at the UK, or England specifically, where it's just unrecognizable. If you're a Jew in England, in London, it's a scary place to be right now. You pretty much want to start thinking about an exit plan. And it's 2023.
Yeah, wow, we got to come together, man. We got to come together because this hatred has got to end, man. This constant onslaught of hatred. And I believe it's coming more from the left than anywhere, period.
Well, the left and right in America are pretty much the uniparty, and they're bad, and they're against our
politicians, yes. But I think the American conservative is not a reflection of the rhinos that are in D.C.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I hear you. Go on.
I'm not saying there's not radicals in every group. There are, but by and large, I mean, I think most conservative Americans are just for freedom and a constitution and, just common sense, as Yodavation says all the time. Common sense.
Yeah.
Which is what everyone should want.
Yeah, I think that they're the people who are like, you let me do what I want to do, I let you do what you want to do, and they can get along that way. Agree to disagree. But the left doesn't have that. They say acceptance and tolerance. They don't mean it because they're telling you that what you believe is incorrect, and they don't accept it and they won't tolerate it. But they expect that you will just receive their absurd ideas. And I think that's what the difference is between them and us is common sense.
Well, to a large degree, yeah. I mean, you always see those smart college kids that go up to someone like a Crowder, and want to change my mind episode, right? Sure, I'll change your mind. And then suddenly it's like, gosh, my professor explained it so well. Let me think about how he said it again. Gosh, it was a half-hour lecture on this, and man, I was blown away. Trying to remember it the way he said it. Gosh, I just can't do it. Let me go see if he's available. He can explain it to you.
Well,
that's the kind of mentality.
What about religious freedom? No religious person is going to believe that there is more than two genders. So you can't fire somebody, or suspend them from school because they quote unquote misgendered when there is only two genders.
Well, but you say that as a religious person, but there are other people who consider themselves very religious, like the Pope, who would say you're wrong.
Well,
the
that's
Pope
true.
would be wrong.
Well,
the misgendering happens
this
when
Pope wants a world government as well. That's pretty crazy.
Misgendering happens when a man says he's a woman. He's a man. He's misgendering himself and expecting us to just agree with the absurdity. It's not true.
But I'm just saying the First Amendment protects religious freedom. That's what I'm saying. It protects religious freedom. And most religious people, I know what you were saying earlier about the Pope and all, but most religious people believe, like the Bible says, that God created them male and female. Most Christians believe that. I would imagine Jews believe that as well. And probably even Muslims believe that. So they can't force
they definitely do.
us to have to go along, because that is a violation of the First Amendment. You have to be able to get along. You can believe what you want to believe, but I also get to believe what I want to believe. You cannot encroach on that. And I don't want the state, I don't want the school system teaching my kids morality when they're the most immoral of all.
Yeah.
And corrupt and scandalous and unscrupulous. I could go on and on.
Yeah. The thought of them teaching morality. Again, we were talking about that teacher that got fired in Massachusetts for simply telling the father that, hey, your school is transitioning your daughter to a boy.
Yeah, let's make her a hero, though, because that is what has to be done right now. We need to stand up against these weirdos.
And that the father had every right to know that. They could say, oh, well, he's a bigot. He's, he would never understand he's a bigot. And he goes to church and, look at him, bigot, bigot, bigot. But no. That's the father. That's a genetic child.
Yeah, that's weird to try to take control. That is weird to try to take control of some child,
somebody
away from the parent. I mean, you don't own that child, but that goes back to that liberal philosophy. I can't remember the news journalist that said it. She goes, "But we got to look at the children as more than just belonging to the family, but belonging to the collective. We own the children, not the parents." I mean, they're just it's weird. These are weirdos.
I couldn't agree more. It's so scary to hear people talk like that. Oh, there are kids. It takes a village to raise a kid. It takes a village was Hillary Clinton's famous book. And that was sort of the beginning of planting the seed of this mentality where the child isn't yours anymore. It's part of the community. And of course, communist socialist countries of China, this of course is a thing in China. It's their whole thing. But it's not American. I say everybody gets a school voucher and you take your kids home and you get $15,000 a year to teach your kids. Do it. Form community groups, form groups with other parents, and everybody takes a day and you just teach the kids, or whatever. You ensure that your kids are intelligent and understand what it takes to survive in the real life. And I'll tell you, man, day 101, it's bills. Right? That's do you want to learn about life? Bills. That's how you learn about life. Pay these bills. There's, $1,500 you got to spend every month before you can even eat. Right? There you go. Now take it from there and go. Right? That's what life is about. They don't teach any of that to kids. College kids walk out of there with no clue. $200,000 in debt, expecting to make $100,000 a year, and they're waiting tables somewhere making 30.
Yeah, wokeism is not going to succeed, this leftist wokeism, because there's just too many of us that have traditional values that believe in that, and we will never succumb to that kind of, bullying. We're going to stand up for what we believe in, and they would have to basically, the only way they could defeat us would be for them to like round us all up wrongfully, arrest us, and throw us in jail.
Yeah.
Because we'll never relent. We will never relent. We will never surrender. We're fighting back peacefully and nonviolently more than we have ever, right? And we're now uniting. The United Front is quickly becoming our united stand, and they cannot defeat us. The only way that they can defeat us is if we capitulate. But man, I'm telling you, we are as strong as steel, and we're even stronger as we continue to unite. And you will see that happening because we're having beachhead moment after beachhead moment, victory after victory. They're going to be acting like a bunch of demons being exorcised and screaming and screeching, but that means that we're winning.
Yeah, you talked earlier about how Alex Jones did 2 hours with Elon Musk today.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
How was that?
Well, one of the things Elon was talking about, the WEF, that treasonous organization led by Klaus Schwab. He was saying, they started out, it seemed like a decent thing, where you just collaborated with nations and stuff, but they've gotten to where they have too much power now. And see, that means they're going to try to trump our sovereignty. And that means that the voice of the people is gone. Once you have global government, you have no more voice. Your voice is completely gone. They don't even care about your voice already. But you will have no legal way to fight back.
Exactly.
So it's interesting that Elon Musk. I used to think he was kind of a globalist himself.
Think about election night and global government, right? It wouldn't be about Florida, North Carolina, or some American state. It'd all be about like some obscure country in Africa or whatever. Now they vote, right? Some Indian province you've never heard of is like the new swing state where everybody's waiting breath and need to, hear how that election turns out in that province. But Yotivation, you were about to speak. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, no, keep going, because I totally forgot what I was going to say.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, like, election night will turn into this crazy thing where Punjab is like the deciding, district in India that we're all going to find out who the new world government is, leader is, because of some obscure area. Yeah, you get me.
A lot of nations have voiced concern about world government, at these meetings because they don't feel like their nation is going to get equal say. It's not world government's not any kind of a democracy. I mean, H.G. Wells wrote about that in his book. He wrote about that in his book called The New World Order. H.G. Wells, the science fiction writer, he wrote a serious book called The New World Order. And look, there's no democracy in it. It's just it's consolidated power, which always leads to abuse.
Yeah.
And that's what makes America so special. Our Constitution, it is the power of the people. The sovereign power is the people. It's not government. And that's what we need to smarten up about this stuff. We need to exercise and be aware of our rights, because as I was saying earlier, here in America, we have a government that isn't looking out for our best interests, that isn't supporting our right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Then we are charged to institute a new government. And I don't understand why we haven't done that thus far, because they're still protecting the bribons. And I think those people need to be held accountable, because we all know that there's corruption, there's treason, there's foul play. He rigged and stole the election. There's so many things that are being ignored.
I mean, but could it be that maybe some of these people have been brownstone in D.C., You know what I'm saying? Have they been blackmailed? Do they have something on them?
Most
Because
likely.
why aren't they doing their job? Why aren't they holding the criminals accountable legally and lawfully? Is it because they've been? Is that what Epstein was all about? Was he somebody that
and
was
all these different underground systems? Of course, it's what they're about.
And what was the guy that
everybody they can
that won't release? Durbin, is that his name? He won't release the Epstein client. We need the Epstein client list. I want to know who was involved.
Schumer too. Schumer is, I think, like also.
What do they have to hide?
But
why not be transparent?
Yeah. Exactly. What do you have to hide?
Think about it. They want everything we do to be transparent. They want to be in all of our business 24/7, surveil us all the time, and yet they themselves, who are running everything, don't want to show us anything. They're the least transparent of all, the government. That's got to change. That has got to change.
It does. And I will, bingo cards. You guys all have your bingo cards out? Because I'm going to change up the subject a little bit. Okay. John Fetterman surprises us again by defending reasonable border talks. John Fetterman.
Yeah, what's going on
there?
What's happening there?
I don't get it. This guy's like super red-pilled all of a sudden. You know? And the Twitterverse is saying, that's what a stroke will do to you. It'll turn you retarded and make you vote, or start talking like a Republican. But wow, this guy's starting to say all the stuff that, like, it makes sense. Who's the guy he ran against, that CNN doctor?
Dr. Oz.
Yeah, right? Like, I suddenly am thinking that Fetterman's more reliable than Dr. Oz. At least
Mendez should be also possibly kicked out as well. If they're going to kick out Santos, shouldn't they kick out Mendez as well? Who's a Democrat.
He's staunchly pro-Israel. He put up all the pictures of the hostages on his, wall outside his office and said, come on, tear them down. Good luck. I want you to come tear them down. Really, like, he's to the right of, like, Trump lately. And suddenly he can talk. Like a couple months ago, this guy
I noticed that. Yeah, he did it when he was on Stephen Colbert. I noticed he could talk.
Yeah, it's insane. This guy went from being like literally half comatose to he can speak fine, and he's suddenly like, I don't know why he's a Democrat.
Well, here's the beauty of crazy times is that unknown factor, that curveball that comes in. And you hope and pray that the curveball is a good one.
I always thought he was going to be a curveball, for the way that he dressed. And, that he went against the system. But then he got in there and he totally conformed. So I don't know, maybe this is the real guy. Maybe they drugged him up so he was so stupid.
Who knows? But it's really strange. I did not see this coming. Like I said, if you got this on your bingo card, man, you just won some money.
We talked about like predicting like what's going to come over the next year. Because I mean, and I think even if we did the best job that we could, we would get so much right. But that unknown factor, man. There's going to be some curveballs in the next year that, and I think they're going to work in our favor, and we're all going to be so pleasantly surprised, man. I didn't see that one coming. Did you see us? Did you see that Univation? No, I didn't, but I'm glad it happened.
I hope you're right.
You got to have some faith. You got to be optimistic, man, because, and honestly, for me, like the worse that it gets, like I perform best under pressure. That makes me dig deeper. That makes me dig harder. That, I got to dig into my inner person and just, find that well and pull from it.
And the only can lose is if we surrender. So never surrender, just always, it can be very tiring and it can wear you down, but don't ever stop, always fight for your rights, fight for your freedoms, exercise your rights daily. Because we have a beautiful thing here, and we don't even have to spill blood. We just have to be courageous enough to stand up and not comply with the insanity. I think we can do it. I hope we can. I have, like you're saying, the unknown factor. We don't respond the way that the Democrat base does. We have a lot more
Integrity.
thought. Yeah, responsibility. We're just not the same creature. So I think they underestimate we the people, and I really hope that we'll all stand courageous this next time around, because there will be a next time. It is coming, and they're going to want to lock us down. They're going to want to cheat. They're going to want to get away with everything that we'll let them get away with.
And I will say it's going to be the cyber attacks, right? An EMP will take a decade to come back from. A cyber attack will last long enough that they can do everything they need to, and we're just going to be left out in the stink with no idea what's going on. You know what I mean? We're going to be out here.
That's exactly what they want.
Well, I made a prediction about, 4 or 5 years ago on social media, and I've reiterated it many times, and that is that these deep state characters have been using false flags for so long. And we could go over so many of them, right? All nations have done false flags. And eventually they're going to get caught in one, because it's called the odds. It's called statistics. It's called numbers. It's called math. They eventually. So I'm hoping that maybe if they try some sort of cyber attack and want to blame it on Russia or some patriot, or when it's actually them doing it, that they will get caught, because their time is running out, man. You can't just keep doing the kind of evil that these people do for decades and decades and decades. Everybody believes in some kind of either you reap what you sow or karma or something like that. Everybody believes in that. People that are atheists, people that are believers in God, people that are not, etc. They all know that what goes around comes around. And believe me, these guys have been planting some evil seeds for a very long time.
Oh yeah, and it's coming, man. Don't think it ain't. So, I don't know. We got about 3 minutes left. Why don't we each take a minute or so? Yotivation, you go first.
Well, I'm just so glad that we have this platform that we can talk about these things and get it out there into the public consciousness. Just becoming aware is a way that we can have a paradigm shift just automatically, where we get rid of the old and outdated, which no longer serves to protect us, just out of survival. So I think we're going to get there. Just everybody hang in there, stay strong, and keep fighting, and never surrender.
Yep, and you're going to have a good Christmas ahead of you. You excited? Have you been good this year?
Oh, yeah. I'm very excited. I've been a very, very good girl. Unless you're the intelligence agencies looking at me then.
Barry, have you been good?
I've tried. I'm trying.
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There was that hobo you beat up in the alley for no reason, but other than that, you did good.
No.
What message do you have for everyone?
My message is, I want to put that olive branch out there to everybody, even if you're on the other side of the spectrum, and say, let's come together under the banner of freedom, under the banner of national sovereignty, under the banner of our constitutional rights, right? And let's fight these establishment figureheads that are basically stripping us all of our power. Democrats are now learning that they come not just for conservatives, but for Democrats too. We need to reinstate the Constitution, join us in our peaceful, nonviolent resistance, and become a part of the American team.
Amen. And I would say to everybody, look at America. Look at our Constitution that is so often disparaged. And understand that it's the first political document in all of history that limited the power of the federal government and put that power back into the hands. Everywhere you look, that document says the government shall not do this. The government can't do this. It can't do that. It can't do this. It can't do that. On and on and on. The Bill of Rights is nothing but things that the government cannot do.
Right.
Which makes it different, which makes it powerful, which makes it the most brilliant document in world history to give the people the power to run their country. And if you can't come together and live under that sort of an environment, I don't know what you want. So we'll leave it at that, folks. We'll be back on Wednesday night. Other than that, thank you so much for listening, and we love each and every one of you. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, yeah, and we are out of the radio side.
Right.
Another one in the books.
Great show, guys.
Another one
That was a
bites
fun
the
one,
dust,
yeah.
and another one gone, and another one.
And stick around, folks that are still listening, to the after show, where all hell really breaks loose. And
After
they
a
cut
Willy break.
the
And
the
I've
host in
got
that really cut
8
loose.
tabs. I have 8 tabs open for articles we did not cover. I think I had 20 when we started, so we covered about 12 of the stories that I had pulled up, and looked at and thought were worth covering. We have 8 left, so we can definitely go through some of those. Although I'm going to go AFK for just a second, and it is a BIO. I'll be RB.
Oh, man.
All right.
I get the BRB part. What's a BIO? Do I want to know?
I don't know, but I think he meant a big flat rock. But anyway.
You live streaming.
Anyways. So you all set for Christmas there? Yo?
Actually, I am much farther ahead than I ever have been. I don't know if I'm set, but I got some stuff wrapped already, which usually doesn't happen until Christmas Eve, so I feel like I'm in a good spot.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
How about you, Papa, with all the children?
I still have some stuff to do yet. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah. I have to get for, 2 kids. Well, 3.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having to get for a gaggle.
Yeah.
Hey, I have a
least,
question. Whatever happened on Black Friday? Was there